Guys, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Are you joking? This was the greatest 20 chapters of anything I've ever read in my goddamn life. Oh! 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 Hello everyone, welcome back to the only YouTube channel on the internet. If you're new here, what's poppin'? Come on inside, it's gonna be a very exciting day today because I am talking about chapters 956 through 974 of One Piece. And my God, I'm not even kind of exaggerating, no hyperbole here. I think this was the best part of the entire story so far. This is incredible! I was gonna try and take this, like, in order. I was gonna try and go, like, chronologically. Fuck that. I want to talk about the moment. You know what moment I'm talking about? It's the big one, the big kahuna. I've been waiting to talk about it since I read it. I am ready to talk about the moment where Roger left. Before I get too far into it, as per request, I recorded my reaction to me reading chapter 967 in which this moment takes place. So I'm gonna play a little clip here real quick of me reacting to it in real time, and then we're gonna cut back. I'm gonna give you the real meat of what I have to talk about. Oh my God. Oh, I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps. Oh my God. Oh. I'm gonna cry. I'm like, hold on. Yo. As you can tell, I was very overwhelmed in the moment while reading this, but now that I have collected my thoughts, I gotta get down to business. We gotta get down and dirty. There's so much to unpack here. This moment to me, this single panel, this single goddamn panel of Roger, this is the peak, the encapsulation of everything that makes One Piece incredible. This is a culmination of so much of the story coming to a head, and yet, it leaves room for there to be more of a peak later. Oh my God. I have talked about this specific thing before with One Piece. It's the thing that I love the most about it, is that it is, at its essence, a giant mystery box that is constantly leading you to the next checkpoint. It's constantly leading you to, here's a little bit more information about what's going on. And once you get that information, Oda feeds you yet another mystery to sort of replace the information that you just gathered, so that you're always on this hook. You're always kind of tethered to what's going to happen next, because he doesn't give you all the answers at once. He gives it to you in bits and pieces. And this moment right here is so perfect, because at the center of the story is Roger and the One Piece, because they are sort of the catalyst for everything that is going on. And we finally get to a point where our characters, a character at least, is seeing what the One Piece is. And you, just by seeing their reactions, you get information about what the One Piece could potentially be. It's something that made them laugh. It's a story. Well, I don't know if it's a story or if that's just like part of it. I don't know. There's a lot that's happening, a lot of information for me to intake. But anyway, point I'm making here is we get this bit of information. It's something. And Roger's laughing at it, but then it brings the mystery of why is he laughing at it? Why did he have this reaction? What is going on? And it lands so heavily on all of the themes that One Piece encapsulates. The theme of humor, which is something I talked about all the way back in my first One Piece video. I talked about this a while ago. Humor is one of the key tenets of this story and its characters and its mood and its themes, and having Roger laugh in this moment just perfectly captures that balance of drama and comedy that Oda is constantly walking on this entire story. And not only that, this entire flashback as a whole, with this sort of being the center of the flashback, apart from everything going on with Oden, which I'm also really excited to talk about. This moment, this entire flashback, I feel like in a lot of other stories, this is something that just kind of would have been dumped on you. It's like, boom, here's this flashback with a bunch of vital information. But the entire flashback is actually critical to the main story and what's going on in current time within the overarching Wano story. And it's masterfully woven in the way that we learn all about Oden and how he joined this crew and how that's important to his journey and how his journey is important to what's going on currently. So this massive, incredible reveal is perfectly woven in to everything else that's going on. God damn it, this shit is amazing. I'm so happy right now, dude. This is what it's about. This is what it's about, baby. This is what it's all about. Whoo, I still have so much I need to talk about too. This is just the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and stay on the topic of Roger. I want to get to Oden, but I'm going to talk about just specifically Roger and everything that we learn about him in just this little flashback, because it gives so much context to the man himself, to the mythos behind the One Piece, and sort of Roger's relationship with the rest of the world and the people inhabiting it. Because up until this point, he's just been this like mythological figure that's sort of been nebulous and untouchable in a lot of ways. He's felt like this deity almost, like this god who is untouchable. And now we're seeing Roger as a human, and we're seeing him connect with characters that we already know, like Buggy and Shanks and Blackbeard. Granted, we already all knew that he was on they were on his crew, but this is the first time that we're actually seeing him interact with them, and we're getting a sense of personality about him. We also see him interact with Frankie, which is crazy to see. And this is another thing that's pulled off perfectly, because we've already gathered a lot of comparisons between him and Luffy, and they have very similar personalities. They're all set out for adventure. They have this undying propeller that is pushing them forward, this motivation, this recklessness, all of this stuff that we see and love about Luffy, we are introduced to in Roger, and it is so powerfully done that by the time he's departing from his crew, it's like a gut punch, even though we've only seen him for 10 chapters at that point. And we also get to see when Roger went to Skypiea and he left a message, and we find out that he had Oden write that for him. We get to see Roger fight Whitebeard, which was fucking amazing. That was such a cool moment. Also, this is totally irrelevant, but Whitebeard is a DILF. You can't argue with me. This man is a DILF. He was already a GILF, but this is certified grade A DILF right here. You cannot compete with this. And I'm jumping all over the place, but we also learned what Roger's bounty was. He had a 5.5 billion berry bounty. We find out a bunch of bounties. I'm going to get to those in a second. I'm almost done talking about Roger. There are two more things I really want to address specifically about this character. One, what did he say to Shanks before he left the ship? Because they made a point to point that out, and like that he said something to Shanks and it really upset him or made him sad. I mean, granted, they knew that he was going to die, so that could have been part of it, but I feel like maybe it was something important. I don't know. He also said something to Rayleigh that made Rayleigh really sad. Again, I don't know if that's something important or if it was just like a farewell between old friends. I don't know. The other really important thing here that really grounds Roger as a character is that we see him as a mortal for the first time. We see him as this person who has a timeline on what they're capable of doing. And he sets out to do it and he accomplishes it, but he had this ticking clock this entire time. And he was, driving ahead boldly with no fear, but he had this side to him that was like, he doesn't know how long he has left. And when he finally, when he dies, when he goes to the execution stand or whatever, we finally understand now that there's some kind of a prophecy of some sort of Joy Boy coming back, which is another thing I'm going to get to in a second. But we know that the reason he did that is because of whatever he learned. He was putting that first. He was putting whatever this was first. We already knew he was going to die, but this just gives a lot more context to the weight behind that action, apart from, kicking off the golden age of piracy. We understand sort of the personal stakes that Roger himself had in all of this. Anyway, I'm going to have to backtrack quite a bit, but I just wanted to talk about this so much. I was so excited. This immediately catapults these 20 chapters to me to godlike status. Just those moments alone, just with Roger. Their thing is here is that Oda had to deliver on this character. He has been a central figure in the entire story, and we've known almost nothing about him. If you're going to bring in Roger to the story, you have to deliver. And Oda over-delivered, I would even say. He went fucking plus ultra maximum godlike status, incredible writing there, bringing Roger into the story and doing it in a way that makes sense and that ties back to everything and delivering on everything we needed to make that character more understandable and to also continue the mystery. Okay, now let me backtrack to like the very beginning before the flashback even starts. There's a bunch of shit that I need to talk about. We basically get like a little mini reverie arc between the flashback starting and the start of Act 3, where we get a lot of information dumped on us really fast. First things first, after the clash at the Reverie, it is now presumed that Sabo is dead. I don't buy that at all. I don't think he would be killed, like, off screen, off page, whatever. I'm pretty sure he's still alive, but it begs the question of, like, where is he? Like, what happened to him? And that's a little scary. I don't hurt my boy Sabo. Leave him alone. The next thing we find out is that X-Drake is an undercover Navy, man. What the fuck? That came out of nowhere for me. Definitely had zero question about who this guy was. And now he's undercover Navy, man. This is excellent. It brings a lot more weight to that character because I really did not care about him before. We also find out that CP0 is on Wano, and like I said at the end of my last video, I said somehow the Navy's gonna get caught up in all of this, and I was fucking right. They're somehow gonna get tied up in all the events of Wano, so we know CP0 is there, and that's what X-Drake was reporting on, and then we find out shortly after that the Warlord system is being dissolved. Everything is plunging into chaos. It's like right after that, we find out that Kobe's going to capture Boa Hancock, which is kind of crazy to think that he's even remotely strong enough to, like, be going after a warlord, but I guess that's where he's at now in terms of strength. And we get little glimpses of all the warlords kind of panicking as they're realizing that their status is being revoked. I mean, apart from Mihawk, who's just like, haha, yes, a good fight. Buggy's like, ah, shit, I gotta get out of here. Totally different reactions. But really, the big bombshell at the end of these just a few chapters here is when we find out that Big Mom and Kaido were on the same crew called the Rocks crew. We never even got to see who Rocks was, but we know that they were on this guy's crew, which is crazy to think about. I do wish that we had actually seen who Rocks was or seen something about them. I don't know if that character is ever going to be important, but like, the captain of someone who spawned Big Mom and Kaido, I feel like they had to be, like, pretty cool or at least really powerful, right? Anyway, we find out that they existed and that Garp fought them. Okay, Garp. Let's go off, Gilf. Another Gilf. Go off, Garp. Go off. And he fought them with Roger. Well, why was Roger teaming up with Garp to fight these guys? And they were defending The Celestial Dragons! What? I mean, I understand Garp doing it, but why Roger? Why would Roger give a shit? I don't know. And the island that they fought them on, which was called God Valley, it's just like gone. No one knows where it's at. It's like, they're like, oh, it's in the memory of like a scant few people who were there at the time, but nobody else knows where it's at. I have a feeling that's probably going to be an important detail. I don't know why else they would mention the name of the island, let alone that it's gone. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But then at the very, very end of these like 2 chapters, this is crazy to think about. This is 2 chapters we get all this information. At the very, very end of it is when we get all those bounties. Like I said, Rogers was 5.5 billion. I have them written down. We have Big Mom has 4.4 billion berries. Kaido has 4.6 billion berries. And Whitebeard had 5 billion berries. And Shanks has 4 billion berries, which really puts into perspective, I was really excited to find out that Luffy had 1.5 billion berry bounty, but like he's not even half of the lowest ranked emperor. Good God. Honestly, these first 2 chapters is part of why I'm saying that I think that this flashback and these 2 chapters tacked on before them is like literally the best 20 chapters in the entire story, because that's just 2 chapters of information. All the shit I was just saying. And then we get into the flashback after that, and it's just amazing all the way through. We get sent back to old Wano, and we see Kinemon. He's down on his luck trying to steal shit. He brings this like sacred boar, I guess, into the town, and it has this giant guardian deity that starts tearing up the town. But before that, we get our introduction to Oden, who has the craziest introduction I could have imagined. Mans is literally cooking stew over a desiccated fucking skeleton corpse. Huh? What? What an introduction! And it really sets the tone for the sort of crass, headstrong manner that Oden has, that he is just so, he almost feels like if Luffy was like a little bit more of like a frat guy. Like he's just so unaware. I mean, he's aware of like people's reactions, but he just does not care, and he's very just like bold and brash, and he's just going around doing what he wants, and he's similar to Luffy in a lot of ways like that, but I feel like he's a lot more just like straightforward, like, and he's very just like alpha male, like walking where he wants. He's got the Giga Chad build, and he really just has the Giga Chad personality to go with it. And the first thing we see him do is beat up this giant boar that's taken over Wano, and then everyone's like, whoa, did he just do that? And they like don't know whether to be impressed or like scared of him, which is an effect that he has on a lot of people throughout the story. The beginning of the flashback is essentially him accidentally collecting the Akazaya 9, the people that are going to follow him, and he does it just by being himself and kind of entering situations and either saving people or helping them, or kind of just like being in the area and just kind of like assembling them, except for big dude, I can't remember his name, but he is like the criminal warlord of Kuri, which Oden basically just fucks up every single person that lives in Kuri and is like, we're gonna make this a place that is no longer lawless. We're gonna clean this place up, which is a crazy thing to do. Like, he just waltzes in there and is like, this is my place now, and we're changing things around here. And while I'm on the subject of the Akazaya 9, I don't know if this was like super intentional or if it's just like a small little detail that's in there. Cannot remember the Hiyori? No, that's not the person. I can't remember the character's name, but two of the people that join Oden's little crew there they introduce them as brothers, but they both clearly they appear to be women. That is the way that they project themselves to the world. And is Oda saying trans rights? Is that what Oda's doing? Because if so, yes, King, thank you. I am loving it. I didn't know if it was like super purposeful or if like my translation was off or something, but I hope that's what's going on, because fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Another small detail about his little crew there that I think is actually kind of hilarious is that when we first see cat and dog guy, I can never remember their full names. We first meet them and Oden saves them and is like, shame on you. You judge them just because they look different than you or whatever. You know, he's being Jesus. When he saves them, they're like little babies. And I understand that like 25 years have passed since that encounter, but like they look like they're really old. Is it because they're aging in dog years? Like, or because they're aging in like pet years? Is that why they got so old? Because that is really funny. If that's the reason that's happening, I'm just gonna go on that assumption because I think it's funny. So I'm doing that. It was really cool just to see the entire Akazaya 9 get together and sort of their development from being this band of miscreants, these outcast people that are ruffians, and they slowly become the powerful and noble, I guess, samurai that we now know 20 years in the future. It was just cool to see their development, not just as individuals, but sort of as this group that comes to worship Lord Oden and respect him so much as a person. And that just adds so much weight to the actions they've taken since we met them in the story. It gives a lot of context to why they feel so strongly about things. And it was necessary, I think, for the story for us to get to see how their personal relationship to Oden grew and changed over time. The other big thing that comes while we're still in Wano is that we see that Orochi was Yasuo's manservant way back when. And let me tell you something. That little fucking shit, I want to punt him like a football. I hate him so much. He's, I hate him. I hate him. And, I have not just, like, outright hated a lot of the villains in One Piece. I would say the majority of the villains I actually don't hate. I find them interesting, and I want more of them. I want this motherfucker to die a horrible death. I hate him so much. Little bro really just was like, oh, my ancestors were punished for something they did. Therefore, I must ascend to the throne and punish everyone else in their stead. You were not on the team. You are not that guy, you little fucker. Listen here, you little bitch. I hate you. I don't want to talk too much about this guy. He's not that important in the grand scheme of things. But I hate him. Oh my God. So Whitebeard's crew, they like crash land on Wano, and immediately Oden's like, take me with you. I want to get out of this fucking place because he wants to go see the world. He wants to travel. He does not want to be stuck in Wano. Honestly, Whitebeard and Oden's relationship was so cool to see the way that Whitebeard's sort of like, I would gladly take you on, but no. It would not do well for that to happen in Wano. I don't want people on our ass. You can't come with us. And so Oden, in the middle of the night, after building up this relationship for months and months with the Whitebeard pirates, he runs out and he grabs onto the chain in the back. What a great scene where he's hanging on the back and Whitebeard's like, if you can hold on, I forgot how long it was. It was like a month or something. It was something crazy. It was like, if you can hold on for this long, you can join the crew. And he's holding on for so long. And at the end, he gives up because he hears a woman screaming in the distance. Is that you, Sanji? Wait, was that the spirit of Sanji entering Oden for a second? But he goes and he meets Toki, who ends up being his wife. And she said she was from 800 years in the past, which immediately clicked in my brain. I went, oh, fuck, dude. Oh, shit, bro. Oh, hell yeah. That's the Void Sentry. Granted, we didn't learn jack or shit about the Void Sentry. She just showed up and we found that out. And then she was like, oh yeah, I came here for a reason because I needed to get to Wano. And then we don't get any fucking information about it. I'm assuming that's somehow tied to the laugh tale and to Oden's last proclamation of like, open the borders for whenever Joy Boy returns, because I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying, right? Like, he's like, this person's gonna come and we need Wano's borders to be open because for some reason Wano is super important to whatever. It's like this prophecy, I guess. But I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about that. I don't want to get into theory crafting right now because I'm flying in the story and I don't have time to theory craft. I just want to get there. I want to be caught up and just see what's been answered. And maybe once I'm caught up, I'll start making theories. But I am loving all the spicy, schmeedy stuff that we got fed through these little details here, what we learn about Toki and all the little things we got. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, on to the next thing. Ooh, this has nothing to do with Oden, but this is something I loved seeing Little Shanks and Little Buggy. They were adorable. I would adopt them in a heartbeat. The other thing is we see Blackbeard and Shanks and Buggy, they're talking to each other at one point and they're like, yo, I heard he never sleeps. And he was like, yo, what? He was up through that entire night or whatever? Why doesn't Blackbeard sleep? Why doesn't what is that? What is that? What is that? What's going on there? What's happening with that? It has to be an important detail. Oda would not just dump that shit in there. It's gonna be important somehow. I don't know how. But, come on. He wouldn't just write that shit in there for no reason, right? That has to be something to the mystery that is Blackbeard, right? Anyway, Oden ends up on Roger's ship because once Roger finds out that he's from Wano and realizes that he can translate the poneglyphs, Roger's like, let me borrow him for a year so that I can go on this expedition to go find the other poneglyphs that I need to get to the island, the whatever. And it was really cool actually seeing how he also progressed in his knowledge of the poneglyphs, sort of on the same timeline as our characters. And as they're going on this adventure, something that I thought was really cool is we got to see previous fruit owners of specifically the barrier fruit. I can't remember exactly when that is, but I remember seeing that. And then there was also the clone fruit. And when that happened, I was like, and that's actually the person that was helping Orochi, right? Was the person with the clone fruit, who I'm assuming is dead at this point, because the clone fruit is what Bon Clay has, right? That's the same exact fruit, correct? Right? Either way, it was just cool seeing people with the previous fruit owners, because, it's always something I've thought about a little bit. Is, who had the gum fruit before Luffy? It's just, a legitimate question. Who was the person? Because only one person could have it at a time. I wonder what, the lineage is of the previous fruit owners for all of the fruits that we've known, you know? This flashback also serves to give us a better timeline for how long the emperors have been around, because Kaido and Big Mom, they were already, established as emperors when Shanks was still just a little boy. That's crazy to think about, that Shanks, I don't know what his age is. I mean, Shanks is also a DILF. If we're just going to throw out DILFs in this video, Shanks is 100% a DILF. I don't know how old he is. I assumed he was close to 40. So how old is Big Mom and Kaido? I don't know. It puts a little perspective a little bit. Also in the flashback, we see Moria versus Kaido, which is a really cool detail to see because that was something that was mentioned fucking 600 chapters ago. Not that much. It was 500 chapters ago. Still crazy that small little thing that Kaido that Moria brought up way back in Thriller Bark, we actually see it. We actually see that shit, dude. Not that I give a shit about Moria, but it's cool to see it anyway. So once Oden's voyage comes to an end and he returns to Wano, immediately everything's in disarray. Orochi's the fucking, I can't remember, Shogun, that's the name of the title, and he gets back and everything's gone to shit, and he's like, oh fuck, I gotta fix this, and he finds out that the truth behind Orochi's motivations and kind of everything that's going on, and now Kaido is controlling the island from the shadows, and he's like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do? And then he basically is forced to embarrass himself for 5 years by doing this dance naked in the streets to pay reparations to this dude's family, which is some bullshit in the first place. But the fact that Oden was willing to go through that, what a fucking Chad. And this is only the beginning of his Chadliness within the last 3 chapters, because soon after they find out, of course, they were being lied to about the entire thing, because every single time that Oden danced, it was saving 100 people that otherwise would have been killed. But then people get killed anyway, so they go and storm Kaido's castle, but then they knew they were coming because the whole thing was a lie, and then they get captured and they're gonna be boiled alive. And as they're about to be boiled alive, Oden makes a deal. He says, if we can survive in here for whatever time you set, you'll let us go. You'll let whoever survives go. As long as they're in the pot of boiling water, you will let them go. And Kaido's like, sure, bro, fuck it, why not? He says, if you can survive for an hour, I will let you go. So Oden hops in. Oh, Oden hops in. And then all the samurai are like, we cannot let him do this alone. Everybody jump in. And Oden, with the power of the ultimate plus ultra 10 million times Giga Chad Thundercock power, whips out a wooden board and holds it above his head for all the samurai to sit upon. What a fucking ultimate Chad! This is the ultimate raid boss of Chads. Oden is the ultimate Chad! At this point, the people of Wano had turned on Oden, and they thought he was an embarrassment and a letdown and a disappointment. But while he is standing there, holding up all of these samurai by himself while he is being boiled alive. The truth comes out because I can't remember her name. Whatever her name is, the girl the chick that the ninja, the girl ninja person, I can't remember her name at all. She tells them all the truth. The truth comes out about why Oden was doing what he was doing. And then, as all the samurai are released, even though fucking Orochi, that little rat bastard, that little turd muncher, he was gonna kill him anyway. They all escape anyway because that little fucking dude could not lay a finger on them because he sucks, and he sucks so hard. Anyway, they all survive, and then everyone's like, Oden, Lord Oden, and they're like cheering him on, and he gives this speech. He's like, hear me, you open the borders to Wano so that we can bring in this visitor 20 years from now, and then my name is Oden, and I was... Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Oden, you son of a bitch. Come on. I knew Oden was gonna die, but still, god damn it. Son of a bitch. Like, I knew it was coming, and I still was just like, this godlike man, this insanely legendary figure. I didn't want him to go out like that, shot in a boiling pot of water by the littlest fucking slimy little goblin rat bastard. I hate him. Anyway, I am coming to the end of all the things I needed to talk about. After the flashback ends, we learn a couple of important pieces of information. For one, there was one of the samurai that gets introduced at the very beginning alongside Kinemon, who we find out is actually the swordsman guy who was protecting Orochi way back like 20 chapters ago whenever Hiyori, or I can't remember the fake name she was using. I didn't realize that was the same person until then, but I didn't realize that, but she was fake killed by this guy because he was secretly a double agent this entire time. And then we find out there was another double agent, but on the other side, it was Kanjuro, that motherfucker, that son of a bitch. He was like, ooh, I tricked you this entire time. I'm actually a good artist, and I was working for Kaido this whole time. The good artist part is not the important part of that statement. I don't know why I led with that. And just as all hope is looking lost, as the samurai feel helpless adrift on their boat alone, and they're being bears down upon by these giant 3 ships sent by Kaido, the supernovas arrive. And that was such an epic moment with the 3 captain panel. Fire! Absolute fire. Anytime that Luffy and Law are on the same page is hype. And now that I like Kid, I was hyped to see him show up too. 3 supernovas showing up at the same time in this super epic anime entrance. Oh yeah, that's quite a way to end this sequence of chapters. Quite a way indeed. For real, guys, this was fucking crazy. This 20 chapters. God damn you, Oda. God damn you for making me... I'm gonna have a heart attack, man. I'm gonna pass out one of these days while I'm reading. Literally every single chapter was an absolute banger in this chunk of the story. I will stand by my statement. I think this was the best 20 consecutive chapters that we have had in this entire goddamn story, and that is saying something. I continue to be blown away by what Oda is capable of. I am loving Wano. I think that it's probably only got surprises left in store for me. I am so ready to just go full steam ahead. I fucking love One Piece, bro. I'm probably gonna make 2 more videos breaking down Wano. I don't know exactly where my stopping points are right now. Tentatively, I have chapter 1000 as my next stopping point, and then I would just probably do the rest of Wano in one video. I'm also gonna be probably doing some reactions to anime episodes that people have asked me to react to, which I am excited to get to. I've watched 1 episode of Wano so far. I'm probably gonna try and get to some more this weekend. And then after that, it's not long before I'm all caught up. I did make a little joke about this. I might try and actually do it. Right now, the current chapter is 1069, and I have like 90 chapters left, and I have like 10 days until chapter 1070 comes out. I could maybe do it. I could maybe get to chapter 1069. That could be my caught up point, which is something I could brag about. I feel like I will never forget that. Like, I could remember that for the rest of my life, that I caught up to One Piece at chapter 1069. I don't know. Maybe I'll try for it. I don't know for certain. We're going to see how I feel next week. Anyways, if you're still here, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you feel like it, join the Discord in the link down below. I am enjoying it greatly, talking to everyone in there. And that's where I've gotten a lot of requests to react to things. And it's just great to be able to have a conversation with everyone. So feel free to join if you feel like it. And if not, no worries at all. I'm glad that you're here. And until next time, folks, I hope you're happy and healthy. I hope you're doing well. I know I'm doing well after all of that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.